Shalom, this is Mary Omni from the World Government House of King David, Holy Covenant Constitutional Enforcer. This is a Republic Notice. The title of this Republic Notice is called Tea Party Parasites Seek Blood from Ebony Magazine. Tea Party Parasites Seek Blood from Ebony Magazine. The Tea Party is now boycotting or protesting the September issue of Ebony Magazine, where it features hoodie wears of fathers and sons on the cover of the September 2013 issue. And the Tea Parties is protesting this. They don't like the fact that they are representing Trayvon Martin and fathers and sons shown in a positive light of men with their sons. This shows the insanity and the days of revelation of how insane this parasitic, baby booming Caucasian generation is. And this is what we have been dealing with in each of these states. They've been sitting in these cubicles with the need to infringe, the need to parasite, and the need to suck. They're the most parasitic generation, this Tea Party, that the states have ever seen. They are parasites. And they claim they don't want socialism, and they always talking about affirmative action. But they are the biggest welfare recipients that's ever been in this system. They even suck the blood from their children and their offspring, because they are the majority of the debt accumulators in this country. And they're still in their 60s, they're still crying foul because they haven't sucked enough blood, they haven't parasited enough. Now, to show you how insane they are, and this is why we know that we're in end time, because they're going to reveal all their insanities. Now they want to infringe on Ebony Magazine. It bothers them just to see black men with their sons. And see, this is why it is incumbent upon black men to know how much you have been feeding these parasites and being away from your women and children. How much comfortability you gave them. Anytime they feel need to protest Ebony Magazine with the issues of father and sons of September wearing a hoodie and recognizing that they could be Trayvon Martin, and this bothers them to the degree that they talk about they're going to protest or boycott Ebony Magazine, which they never subscribe to anyway, is showing the full throttle insane that these people have been sitting in this country, in states where they was garnered and given authority in their little cubicles to deprive and attrition black people, while they sucked and parasite the welfare system, the social security system, and everything dry. They say they don't want socialism. Well, then cut off all their supposedly checks of social security, because they're the downfall, because they're the debtors. They the ones sagging social security down. These Tea Parties are the injury of the social security system. They are the real parasitic injury. And they don't want socialism. They consent they don't want it. They done said it over and over again, they don't want socialism, because they think that they are giving somebody something. Because they are so insane, they think they could come on somebody else's birthrights, which the 14th Amendment been non-consented, and somehow get a non-consented 14 birthrights, and then call themselves paying into Social Security with stolen wealth that they stole from the constitutional republic as parasites. As parasites who was willing to be debt vessels for the bankers. And don't say they didn't know what they was doing, because they saw President Kennedy, he had blown off, and they danced off beat to Motown when we was trying to raise them. Black people was put in this country to try to raise these people humanity. They refuse to be raised. So when they start reaping what they sow and the law of karma sets in, I'm glad we got a constitution. I'm glad we got a constitution where blacks cannot feel sorry for them, because that constitution have non-consent to forgiveness of debt. That means they will pay that debt. These parasites will pay. These baby booming Tea Party parasites will pay. And their grandchildren who occupy Wall Street need to occupy them, because they are the criminals in mass in this country. And they led the succeeding generations down the line of criminality with their all-white Senates and all-white everything for the last 50 and 60 years. They could have changed things if they wasn't so greedy and parasitic. Instead, they fed all the evil forces for their privilege. Now they're in their 60s, and they don't feel as though they sucked and parasited enough. They want to suck Ebony Magazine, and they want to tell them, oh, a father with his son offends us. And let that be a lesson to the black men out there. Just the fact that you are separated from your children gives them glory. Just the fact that Trayvon Martin died gives them glory. Just the fact no one went to jail gives them glory, because these are parasites, vampires, and they call themselves the Tea Party. They have selective constitutionality. You don't have no constitutionality anytime you fighting blacks, because blacks are the Constitution. Anytime you want a George Zimmerman to walk, that means you admitting and consenting you have no constitutionality. Because no George Zimmerman will walk under constitutionality after shooting a constitutional asset to death for nothing. And see, Alex Jones now is trying to reach out to constitutional citizens, because he catered to this insane crowd too. And he's trying to act like they got some kind of righteous corner now, because now the bankers done turned their back on them, and they telling them they not nothing. And so now Alex Jones is their spokesman, and he's trying to act like they got some kind of wholesomeness and caring about the constitutionality. And so he pulling like Cynthia McKinney and Dr. Professor Griff and all of them over there to try to act like he really care about something. But the first thing he always say is, oh, well, where's Jesse Jackson? Where's the race baiters now? Where's Jesse Jackson? Where's Al Sharpton? About this man being shot in the neck in Texas by a cop for nothing. And see, Alex Jones talking about where Jesse Jackson at and where Al Sharpton. I want to know, where was your humanity, Alex Jones? Where's your humanity? Why Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton gotta be there? Is there anything registers with you as a human that a man was shot in the neck walking down the street in Texas? Is there anything that registers with you as a human that he was shot in the back of the neck walking down the street? Why you relying on Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton? Because you're phony, Alex Jones. You're phony, and you ain't gonna fool me. You can pull in all the blacks you want on there. We know you part of this insane baby boomer crowd who have selective constitutionality and selective caring about this country only when you can have your greed satisfied. Only when you can have your greed and your insane, strong delusional privilege. See, we're living in a time that try men's souls. You're on trial. You're on trial. The goats is being separated from the sheep. Now these goats are going to start showing their insanity, especially these ones that's been sitting up here parasiting, pretending that they working, when all they doing is being welfare recipients. Then they crying about a black receiving a crumb of their constitutional wealth. And they're getting so desperate now, they actually done did a poll on Al Sharpton and George Zimmerman to see who won that poll, to see where they're faring at in the whole scheme of things at the end of these days. And they bragged about, oh, George Zimmerman won, just because Al Sharpton is now on Channel 3 getting some ratings, and they getting scared about that. And they talk about, oh, George Zimmerman won. Well, we know we got a mass of hate in this country. We know we got a mass of sin. We know we got a mass of evil. See, we don't need to be told that George Zimmerman won. We always knew you've been there with that hate and evil. But it's good that you acknowledge it and you indicting yourself, because the majority of you is these baby boomers, like I said. You're parasites. You're parasites, and you cannot live unless you're parasite. You cannot be comfortable unless you infringe on constitutionality. And during the poll, it gives you comfort that President Obama won a second time. You doing the poll gives you comfort that you still got this fake delusional privilege that you had on the black infant's back. Your fake delusional privilege you had on the black infant back. Does that give you comfort that you got the George Zimmerman get off? Did that make you feel more comfortable in your fake privilege on the black infant back? And the fact that President Obama got in office, now you're getting scared when a magazine comes out showing that Trayvon has supporters. Because your line is, oh, well, y'all killing each other anyway. Why can't we just kill one or the other one? Well, let me tell you this. White people kill their parents more than anybody in this country. They have the highest rate of killing their parents. Now, if a black person come and kill your parent, does that mean that black person should get off because you got the highest rate of killing your parents? As white people, should a black person be able to kill your parent and get off? Well, this is that bull crap that you try to keep coming with. As if two wrongs make a right. Talking about why we making a big deal out of Trayvon Martin since we got a genocide situation going up anyway. A genocide situation thanks to you parasitic ones who trampling the black infant since his birth, which meets the international definition of genocide, whether it's internal or external. It's manslaughter on your part, you parasite baby boomers, Tea Party misfits, you parasitic baby boomer, Tea Party misfits. You damn right he got in there a second time. And I'm glad he pushed him for a posse comitatus again. Because it never should have been revoked anyway. It was against the law to remove it. If blacks was not being treated like they should since they constitutional citizens. You just wanted them out of the way so your Ku Klux Klan could be the police. And you could sit back and parasite generation after generation after generation what you did. But you baby boomers are the worst. You are the worst because you claim that you knew something when this Vietnam War and President Kennedy head was blown off in front of your face. You will carry that to your grave. You knew this country was hijacked then. Ain't nothing innocent about you. And you consent that you're a parasite to debt and theft. So you go ahead and protest a magazine that you never subscribed to anyway. Let the world know you're desperate and insane in your last days. Your masters are falling. This is Mary Omni from the House of King David. Shalom.